These are the opening credits and sequence of the film The Hours, directed by Stephen Daldry. We first see a close-up of a moving van. The camera zooms out to reveal a long shot of an idyllic American suburb in perhaps the 1950s. We assume this is the setting based on the style of the houses and the vehicles, especially this vintage black car pulling into a driveway. To provide subtext and make the setting more clear, the words Los Angeles, 1951 appear on the screen. The director uses set design and period-specific props to enhance the feeling of being in a certain setting. The man shown here is the husband of Laura Brown, one of the three main characters. We see him entering his house with a bouquet of flowers, which he puts down on a counter before heading to his bedroom. The camera shows him peeking into his bedroom from the door. It then slowly pans from left to right across the room, and it comes to a close-up shot of Laura lying in bed on her side. Next we cut to a new setting. Here we see a lush green landscape and people wearing older style clothing, which juxtaposes the two settings and makes it obvious this is a new location and time period. Richmond, England, 1923 appears on the screen to make the setting even more clear. The man shown is the husband of Virginia Woolf, another of the three main characters. He is seen entering his house and putting down his briefcase and keys. The similar blocking of the husband's actions immediately alert the viewer of the connection between the characters. The director furthers the idea of this connection through the movement of the camera. Here we see Virginia's room, and as in the shot with Laura, the camera slowly pans from left to right across the room. It comes to rest on a close-up shot of Virginia lying in bed, facing the same side Laura was facing. The shot abruptly cuts to a subway, indicating a new time period. New York City, 2001 appears on the screen to provide subtext. We see the streets of Manhattan, modern vehicles, and people wearing clothes that resemble today's style. The woman shown is the partner of Clarissa, the third main character. She enters their apartment and comes into their bedroom, calling to mind the husband's actions in previous shots. Once again, the camera slowly pans from left to right across the room. It comes to a close-up shot of Clarissa, who is lying in the same position Laura and Virginia were. We hear an old-fashioned alarm clock ringing and cut to a high-angle shot of Laura lying in bed. Then we hear a grandfather clock chime and the shot transitions to Virginia. Finally, we hear an electronic alarm clock go off and we cut to Clarissa. Here the use of sound helps accentuate the different time periods of each setting. In the following shots, the director makes it very clear that the three main women are connected, despite being in different settings. Note the similarity in their blocking and how their actions continue from one woman to the next. We see both Clarissa and Virginia going through their morning routines. The clean lines and muted colors of Clarissa's contemporary bathroom contrast with the softness created by the lighting and lace curtains of Virginia's room. The director chooses to feature close-ups of both women as they examine the reflections in the mirror. This allows the viewer to consider their faces side by side. Here we see a meaningful close-up of the book Mrs. Dalloway. This shot hints at how Mrs. Dalloway is the link connecting the three women. Unlike Clarissa and Virginia, Laura is still in bed. She can hear her husband in the other room, and shots of her show a somewhat anxious look on her face, as if she is debating whether or not to get up. The characters go about their morning routines. Because there is no dialogue in this opening sequence, the viewer does not yet have a sense of what each woman's individual personality is like. Instead, we think of them as a group and focus on their similarities. At this point, the women each have pensive looks on their faces, as if they are all considering something important. The parting image in this scene is that of flowers. Clarissa picks up a vase, Laura's husband carries one across the room, and finally, Virginia's maid adjusts flowers before walking away from a vase. This image and the quick succession between shots again emphasizes that the characters are connected despite being separated by time and location.